I posted 15 videos a day for a year. It was terrible. 3 times a day on each platform, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm about to tell you how I cleared 43K cash collected after I quit posting these 15 videos, and then I'm going to tell you how I posted consistently anyways, despite all the hate comments, all the lack of views, and everything else, which is all the bullshit that I had to deal with every single day. All right, first of all, let me give you guys some backstory, okay? Basically, there was a YouTube agency that contacted me. They were like, yo, Hattie, we're going to blow you up. We're going to blow up your reviews. We're going to blow up your comments. You know, you're going to get a lot of business. I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? They said, short form content. And I said, okay, these dudes, like, they seem like they know what the hell they're talking about, which I later found out they didn't. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm a risk-taking individual. I'll go ahead and pay these people, and we're going to start posting 3 times a day across 5 different platforms. So these are the 3, right? And then we also did LinkedIn, and we also did X, right? Now, there's a fundamental problem with short form content. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form going to admit the fact that, you know, like, short form was the real problem, honestly. It was me, right? I didn't know how to make it work. And this is the first lesson that I learned, right? Actually, from a mentor of mine. He told me, if something doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. It's not that the thing doesn't work. Some people, they make a whole load of content, or they make, you know, or 30 calls, or they send 50 DMs, or they spend $20 on ads, and they get jack squat, right? I was about to say jack shit, right? They get jack shit, and they don't do anything after that. And then they say that, oh, short form didn't work, or cold calls didn't work, or ads didn't work, or email doesn't work. But the thing is, if somebody in your industry is doing it, that means it absolutely does work. It's just that you don't know how to make it work. So admittedly, I couldn't, and I'll admit this today, make it work. Okay, that was the bottom line. The question is, why did I quit doing it? And I'm about to get to this in a second. There's many times in business where you come on a crossroads, where you have a multiplicity of opportunity, right? You can do the thing number A, or thing number 1, thing number 2, thing number 3. You have all these options. And then you got to pick which one to either stick with or go with, because there is a cycle that every single business owner goes through, okay? At first, you're in a stage of informed optimism. You think, oh my God, the YouTube agency just came to me. I'm going to be a quadrillionaire within the next 3 days. My AI agency is going to blow up. This company is going to blow up. That company is so easy. All we got to do is run some ads, you know, no messaging, no nothing. Don't have to refine the offer. I'll just read $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and all of a sudden, I'm fucking Elon Musk, right? So you're at the stage of informed optimism. Then what happens is you actually start realizing that life ain't easy, and 99% of shit that people tell you is easy isn't actually easy. There's no such thing as passive income. Then you achieve this state of informed pessimism. Now you're older, you're wiser, you have a little bit bigger of a brain, and so you know that not all that glitters isn't gold, right? And so you start being pessimistic about it, right? You're like, I don't know if this is going to work. This is harder than I thought. And then you enter the valley of despair, okay? The valley of despair is basically the one place where most entrepreneurs fail. Actually, most entrepreneurs fail between informed pessimism and the valley of despair. They start cold email or ads or whatever, and then they realize that it wasn't as easy as they thought, and so they quit, right? Here's a quitting entrepreneur with 2 X's. Why is he happy? He shouldn't be happy. Okay, this entrepreneur quits. But what they don't realize is right after the valley of despair, you have informed optimism, where you start realizing, oh, wait a minute, okay, so I'm not going to live a laptop lifestyle, and, you know, this is harder than I expected, and I'm actually going to have to put in the work, and there's no such thing as a 4-hour work week. I actually got to sit my ass on the chair or on the bed or wherever the hell you work, and I need to put in multiple focused hours of work trying to make this work, and there's no such thing as, you know, an easy handout. And at the stage of informed optimism, you start realizing these things. And then right after informed optimism comes achievement. And the thing is this, right? This is what the graph for most things looks like, okay? And I'll get back to the short form content in a second. It looks like this, right? It's flat. And then all of a sudden there's an exponential trajectory, right? This is how the exponential graph looks. It's actually been my wallpaper for the longest time, right? Now, when you're on this exponential trajectory, you don't know if this exponential thing is going to happen. For all you know, it might just be a 0 gradient line, which just means a straight line that's, you know, doesn't have any incline. You don't know that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the cost of ignorance plus the cost of uncertainty, right? And you need to, as an entrepreneur, be able to incur both of these things. But a lot of people are basically thinking that they're incurring the cost of uncertainty. They're like, oh, I just need to make this work. I just need to, put in more hours, put in more reps. That's another fallacy, because they don't realize that the real cost that they're incurring is the cost of ignorance. The cost of ignorance and the cost of uncertainty both coincide in one another, right? So if you have no information, but you keep grinding and you keep piling through the uncertainty, then you're not going to succeed. If you have all the information, but you don't take action and you switch anyways, then you're still not going to succeed. So again, you need to ensure that your cost of ignorance is paid, meaning you actually invest in mentorship, you actually invest in the courses that all you guys hate, you actually invest in paying people that know what the hell they're talking about to tell you what the hell they're talking about, so that you will know what the hell you're talking about too. And the cost of uncertainty also needs to be paid off, so that you don't quit halfway and start switching because you get shiny object syndrome. Now, going back to the point, I posted 3 videos a day. Why didn't it work? I'll tell you why it didn't work. I used to record once a month, okay? ONCE a month, okay? This was the fundamental problem. My feedback loops were not quick enough. The agency was like, oh, you just have to record once a month. I was like, okay, my expectation is I record, however many pieces of content, 60 pieces, 90 pieces of content once a month, and then just post 3 times a day, every day on all of these platforms. But because of that, I wasn't able to review, I wasn't able to test, because I wasn't even looking at any of the data, and I wasn't able to iterate fast enough, right? And this is the thing. With a lot of shit that you start in business, you essentially have to, You have to be really in the weeds at first. And the reason why is because you need fast feedback loops, right? Positive or negative, in order for you to iterate and change shit as quickly as possible, right? It doesn't matter if the feedback loop is positive or negative, but if you're spending on ads, for example, there's a very fast feedback loop, right? You spend this much money, and then Mark Zuckerberg shows you the middle finger and says, I don't like this ad, right? Or the audience does, I don't know, right? So again, it's as a result of multiple back-to-back feedback loops that occur again and again and again on repeat, right? It happens again and again and again, where you actually review the shit that you did, look at what worked, test the shit that actually happened, and then iterate. Now, in this time, we were barely getting any leads from this content. We were getting views, we were getting likes, we were getting shares, but we weren't actually getting any leads. And I think the problem actually boiled down to, now that I look back at it, improper CTAs, right? So we did not actually realize, number one, the audience that we were actually speaking with, which is actually the second point, right? The audience was shit, right? I'll draw a pile of shit here, okay? The improper CTA was, we didn't capture this audience properly by telling them what they wanted to hear. Second thing was that the audience was just shit. Our targeting was completely off. The shit that I was making videos about wasn't attracting the ideal customer profile, right? That I actually wanted to talk to. What is the ICP? It's basically, in business, you have this avatar who's your ideal client, right? Who actually needs your service? Who needs your, who needs to solve your shit? So the goal with my channel was never to monetize TikTok or Instagram and get sponsorships. It was to get leads for my business, because I have a B2B offer. My B2B offer is I essentially help entrepreneurs execute consistently with the help of 24/7 live accountability. And by the way, if you want it, I'm giving it away for free. We're hosting a free 6-week focus challenge down below, where we assign you a dedicated accountability coach and literally track your execution live second by second, so that in the 2-3 hours that you work, or maybe more, you're going to be so damn efficient that you're going to get more done than you had in the past, 2-3 weeks, right? So that's essentially the idea. But again, this is a business to business offer. I'm a business that's selling to other businesses / entrepreneurs. If I was B2C, like maybe Mr. Beast, right? I don't know why I wrote R. B2C, meaning I was a business that was selling directly to consumers, then maybe it wouldn't have been a good idea for me to go as wide as possible and start making content about, stuff that was attractive to everybody, right? But this wasn't a good idea, because my service or my product, whatever you want to call it, is not for the average consumer. I want a particular type of person. I want a specific ideal customer profile. I want this avatar to watch my videos as opposed to kids or anybody, right? Now, in this time, I actually posted a long form piece of content, and you actually might have seen a video of mine where I was shitting on shorts, right? I'm going to draw some YouTube elements here. Okay, I posted a long form piece of content, and I got like 300 views, and I got like 6 leads, and 2 of them closed, right? I was like, there's definitely something here, right? So I was like, okay, why am I paying these guys money? Let me go all in on long form. It's a better nurturing platform. The people that, watch long form content aren't brain dead. Excuse my language. They're not completely mentally, okay, I'm about to say some words that are going to get me. See, I don't care about demonetization, but again, I want to keep rapport with you gentlemen and the odd lady that watches these videos. Anyways, nurturing on long form videos is much better because again, they get to spend more time with you. A short is what, 60 seconds, maybe 130, 120 seconds maximum, 180 seconds. Like they don't get to learn as much from you as they do on a long form piece of video. So I said, okay, I know one thing and one thing only. If you were to strip away all my skills, the one skill that I can reliably rely on, which is what I base my entire company after, which is what we sell, is I can stay accountable to execution. Okay, I can stay accountable to executing consistently, right? This is one skill that I have developed over time. It wasn't always like this, but this is one thing that I consistently rely on time and time again, right? And this is one of the best things that I've ever done. I do it with accountability. I use all the systems that I talk about and I sell in my company, right? One of the systems is what we call an external contract with God, right? So basically I made an external contract, which I literally still have right now, that said that I will post one long form video a day or ensure that it's posted, because now I have editors, or one editor actually. I'm trying to sound like a big shot. I only have one editor. One long form video has to go out or I lose 1% equity to my business partner. This is literally in a enforceable, measurable contract that my accountability coach enforces. I lose equity if you guys don't get to watch a video. This keeps me consistent. Then I also committed to doing 8 live blocks, right? So basically what we do at my company is we have time blocks, right? We work in hourly blocks of time. That way it's measurable and you can gamify it. Basically it becomes a number that you're always trying to keep a streak up with. I did 8 yesterday and it's kind of addictive, right? So I committed to doing 8 of these live blocks every single day. And of them, I allocated a certain amount to me just mainly strategizing and researching and obviously recording from time to time on these videos, right? This was the most important thing. And the result was, I believe in the first 2 months, I was able to clear 43K in cash collected, not including upsells, not including anything else, just 43K in cash collected. And again, the way that I actually stayed consistent to it is, despite the hate comments, despite the lack of views, despite everything, was again, because I had accountability. I had this external contract that said that if I didn't do what I said I would do, I would lose a percentage of my equity. What I did is this, right? I didn't say if I don't get 1 million views or 1 million subscribers, like I'm gonna lose equity. I said if I don't post a video, and this is the key point here, right? A lot of people think that, like if we're talking about an outcome, let's say $1 million. If you say, if I don't make $1 million by tomorrow, I'm gonna kill myself or something crazy like that. This is external accountability, right? If you say it to somebody else, or if you actually give somebody a gun and tell them, hey, kill me if I don't make this $1 million. But the thing is, this is an outcome. And I completely believe that outcomes are guaranteed. You are guaranteed to make $1 million, but the time frame of how long it's going to take for you to make the $1 million isn't guaranteed. So outcomes are guaranteed, but the time frame for these outcomes isn't, right? The only thing that you can relatively guarantee to do are inputs, right? There's a very philosophical quote that goes, judge every day not by the harvest that you reap, but by the seeds that you plant, right? So essentially what it is, you have to commit to inputs. So ask yourself, what input is going to yield $1 million? Is it scaling my ads? Is it sending a consistent number of DMs? Is it making your client worth more? Your one client, adding services on top, whatever the hell it is. Usually it's some sort of advertising related task. That input is what you essentially have to commit to. And basically, upon committing to that input, you get the outcome, but the input is what you actually tie the accountability to. So again, this one long form video, or whether it's $100 a day on ads, or whether it's 30 DMs, whatever the hell it is, it has to be an input, right? What are you going to do? What action are you going to take? It has to be specific, it has to be measurable, and it has to be repeatable. And this is exactly what we help the entrepreneurs that work with us do, is we make sure that their goals are repeatable, see subtle CTA there, repeatable, measurable, and actually enforceable, right? They're externally enforceable. We can measure them, right? Did you spend $100 on ads today? Did you make the calls? Did you send the DMs? Did you post a video? Yes or no. It's a binary. It's not like, I will work today. Did you work today? Kind of. No, there's no kind of here. because again, it's a very specific number. Now, how was I able to actually endure all of this for the longest time? And this is going to be a meta lesson, okay? This is probably the most valuable thing that I can give to you from this experience, right? The most valuable learning experience that I can give to you so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. The meta lesson is always have a moat, okay? You only have a business if you have money coming in, okay? Money in is what a business is. The thing is, even now, the bulk of our customers come from cold email. The reason why is because my business partner is very skilled with cold email. He runs more of that, right? That is linear, right? Remember the two graphs that I showed you before? This exponential trajectory back here. Let's go back here, right? So this exponential trajectory, again, like you have to incur the costs of both uncertainty and ignorance if you want to embark on this trajectory. But again, like for this time, right, which can be 1 year, it can be 2 years, it can be 5 years, it can be 8 years. You don't know how long it's going to be. That's the uncertainty aspect of it. You need something else that's linear that keeps the lights open, right? And that for us was cold email. We had a method of acquiring customers so that I can go for the long-term play of actually building an audience and some sort of a brand. I don't know if I'm doing that properly because I don't know, maybe I'm a little too myself in these videos, but I could go for the long-term play of actually building this brand so that we could, in the future have a much higher value for our services just because everybody knows that, not only do I know, but the company knows what the hell it's talking about, like all of our services, everything like that. The customer is just more educated, right? I could go for this long-term play because we had this consistent linear access, or in a sense, this consistent linear trajectory that we were going on where we were consistently getting customers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is about it for today. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Once more, free 6-week focus challenge for entrepreneurs. The goal of this challenge is not for you to be productive. It's for you to be profitable. Or I should say, it's not just for you to be productive. It's for you to also be profitable. We want to add revenue to your business as a result of you executing so efficiently that your competitors have absolutely no idea what your secret tactic or strategy is, when the reality is you're just relying on the principle of consistent, focused execution every single day. Now, there's a link down below to see if you qualify for the challenge. If you do, we're going to let you in pretty soon, give you a dedicated accountability coach. And if you're afraid of the accountability, we have a ramp up sequence where we slowly go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 7, 8 time blocks, right? And we're completely flexible, but we only have a few spots open. I don't know how many exactly we have at this current moment because again, we have people coming in from the cold email side as well. But this free challenge is an exclusive offer that we make only to the YouTube folks because again, we want to talk to you guys. We want to learn more about all this stuff. And also it's a completely new offer, right? So we want to test it here on, kind of unfamiliar grounds before we go into, the battlefield of cold email. Anyways, if you guys are interested, it's going to be down in the description below. If you're not, that's okay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.